Have you voted yet? Don't make me come and take you to the polls. Come on, get out there and cast that vote. And take advantage of the early voting if you can. I'm Johnny Kincaid from the City County Observer. Glad that you've decided to spend a little bit of time with us here. It's voting, man, we've got big issues to determine on this ballot, important decisions to make. I cast my ballot the other day, and well, here's what I am going to tell you. I mean, people know that I lean a lot to the right. All right, I'm a conservative Christian Republican, and I didn't vote straight ticket. I never have, actually, because I want to look at the names. I want to be voting for the individual that I believe is going to do the best job. And in some cases, I believe that the person with the D behind their name is going to do the best job for us. So I don't encourage straight ticket. I encourage you to cast the ballot based on that person aligning with your philosophies and beliefs about what's going to be best for our community. About 9,000 people have cast their early votes so far. That's a little bit under what there was in 2020 in the early voting, but there's still time, and it seems to be gaining momentum with each passing day. So vote early, vote often, and remember, you've got a lot of important things to make. It's not about just the presidential race. That's one of the races, but there's so much more to this ballot, including the governor's race for the state of Indiana. And I know everybody kind of entered into this year thinking Mike Braun is just going to take it. Simple. But Politico just published their list of impactful races, or races that they think are going to be somewhat close. And guess who's on the list? Indiana. Indiana is on their list. It's been 24 years since we elected a Democrat to the governor's office, but Politico says it's going to be a little bit closer than. They're not saying that McCormick's going to win, but they are saying that it's going to be closer than what anybody anticipated. A lot of different reasons for that. One is the fact that in the primary, $40 million was spent on advertising in the primary for the governor's race, and a lot of those ads were used to attack Mike Braun. So he got tarnished and beat up a little bit in the primary. Then in June at the GOP state convention, the delegates selected Micah Beckwith over the person that Mike Braun had hand-selected to be his running mate as lieutenant governor. And ever since then, the Democrats have been using that, and they've been trying to drive a wedge in between the people on the ticket. They're trying to split Braun and Beckwith, and don't fall for it. Don't let that become your reason for either A, not voting, or B, voting differently than what you would have to begin with. Get out there to the polls and cast that vote. I don't care whether you're a Democrat or Republican. If you want McCormick to win, right now there are people who are saying that there's a chance of that. The Democrats are claiming that she is gaining. The polls still show that Braun is outside of the margin of error, but that it's still closer. There are some polls that have said, that there's only a couple of points separating Braun and McCormick, and everybody seems to be in agreement that Rainwater is around the 9% mark in those polls. So, it could be, it's all up to voter turnout. It falls back to that thing of get out and vote. And if you've got friends that are saying, I'm not going to vote this year, get them to the polls, take them, drag them to the polls, get them to vote as well. All right, because it's an important election cycle here. Braun is not going to win with 50% of the vote, by the way. It just doesn't. He'll have a plurality, but he's not going to have the majority of the vote when all is said and done. All right. What else is going on? Well, we've got a couple of other things that we can report to you here as well. One is that the budget for 2025 is now in the hands of the City Council. The mayor has handed that over, and the City Council is getting ready for approval on that. That should make this coming Monday's City Council meeting a little bit interesting. So go and check that out. You can't just just give them a, everybody goes, well, the budget's boring. Look, or there aren't any options there. Look, there's always options. And when you've got a government that is spending like crazy, then there needs to be some accountability attached to that. The Evansville water and sewer, well, first of all, we've got a total of about $1 billion in bond debt for the city. $1 billion in debt. $700 million of that is for the water and sewer utility work that the city has to do. Do you know what the payments are on that? For 2024, the payment, $47,579,000. $47.5 million coming out to pay on the debt. And that's not counting the other bonds that the city has going. So we need people who are going to be responsible and think in terms of what those payments are on an annual basis, and what this does to the future of our community and to our kids. Other happenings in the City County Observer posted a letter talking about deplorable conditions at the Animal Control Center in town, and we're pleased to say work is taking place there. The Mayor Stephanie Terry paid a visit to the facility after the letter posted, and in addition to that, Missy Mosby has been involved in trying to shake things up. She's a big animal lover. She's the city council representative for the 2nd Ward, and so she also has a proposal to get some more funding for the Animal Control Center. They're in the 2025 budget that the city council will be discussing on Monday. There's an increase of about $78,000 for animal control, that's terrific. But Missy believes that they could use more funding there. And there is a proposal in the budget right now to hire an additional person for the city council to be their liaison, their person kind of helping keep everything organized and everything. And so Missy Mosby is going to introduce an amendment that would, instead of hiring that person, would take that salary and give it to animal control, which seems like a creative, common sense approach to getting more funding into that particular agency. And we're going to wrap up with a congratulations to Al Lindsay, a lifetime West Side resident, former city councilman, and retired firefighter, who is the winner of this year's West Side Nut Club Fall Festival half-pot drawing. How about that? The full half-pot went up top the $2 million mark. Al Lindsay is getting $1,035,000. He says he's going to split that with family members who put in money on the tickets. They bought $300 worth of tickets. I'm just sharing their strategy with you in case you want to apply this strategy next year. They made 3 $100 ticket purchases, one on Monday, one on Wednesday, one on Friday. And it was their Monday tickets that won them the $1 million. In the 6 years of doing the half pot, Al Lindsay is the first one to be public about it. Everybody else has wanted to remain anonymous after winning. Can't blame him, because every relative in the world is going to come out of the woodwork asking for money. So congratulations to the Lindsay family. That's terrific. Thank you for joining us. I'm Johnny Kincaid. Be sure to share and like the program, and of course subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future editions.